Okay, guys, welcome to the shop today. We had some questions here on the shop van. We had a lot of you folks that had reached out and said, "Hey, I want to see what that shop van's all about. Show us some content on that." So that's what we're going to do today. I want to do a little brief thing here on what we had to do to get this thing up and going. Now we got tired of running around the tow trucks to places that really didn't need a tow truck. So, we get calls for these super steep roads and up in the mountains to do jump starts and lockouts and tire changes and fuel deliveries, just things like that you don't really need the wear and tear of a tow truck going up that far. So we put together this little service van, and thought I'd give you guys a look since you guys reached out to us and said you wanted to see. Pretty simple. We just got the little Ford Transit. This is a 2017 model, I believe. Kind of tough to find these days. We picked this up from a fellow over in Nashville that got out of needing one for his business, and it was in pretty good shape here. So we went at this one, and I'm not gonna lie, I seen a couple of pictures. I seen a couple of pictures of a really cool one that I'll post somewhere right in here. You can see these pictures of this thing. This is a really cool van. Not saying that we're gonna spruce this one up quite that cool, but hey, maybe we'll put some wheels on it, maybe, never know. But anyway, I'll give you guys a walk around. My wife, she's got a little Cricut decal cutting machine, and she does a fantastic job of plotting this stuff out and getting our stickers made. She's done all of our trucks. It's the smallest machine out there, but she will do a letter at a time on a 12 by 12 if she has to, and piece it all together, and it comes together quite well. We've of course got our logo there up front. Everything else is the same on this side here. And this van, it's not perfect by no means, but it was pretty clean, runs good, and we've got her stickered up. So I'll give you guys a quick look here on what's going on the inside. So first, I guess we'll start with maybe up front. We'll see if we can get the hood popped here. So we started with the wiring. Let's see if I can get my hood propped here, guys. So up front here, we started off with the wiring here. We've got the battery powered up with our compressors. So this stuff runs back to our 12-volt compressors. We've got a nice inline fuse. Very important, guys. If you're doing this kind of stuff, make sure you've got a nice fuse block. Make sure you've got nice thick wire. I'm from back in the day when I was quite a bit younger here and got into the stereo system world, and let me tell you guys, it's very important. I learned from that you have to have thick wiring to run some of these heavier load things. It's just the safe way to do it. And I think I've actually got some leftover pieces here. So let's see here. This is the air line, and it's about a 1/4 inch air line for the pumps. But as far as the gauge wire, we're at the pretty much the 0 gauge, the 1-0, and you can see that's got a lot of copper in it. Not going to go wrong there. And I'm sure I overkilled it, but like I said, coming from back in the day, I learned my lesson. Just overkill the wiring. You never know what you might want to hook up later and change things up, and at least you've got wiring that's going to be suitable for that. But like I said, nice clean van. It had the plastic floors. The seats were in good shape. You see in our previous video there, if you hadn't, go back and watch. We got the dash cam wired up. All right, opening up the sliding door and saying good morning to Butters. Hi, morning, Butters. What you doing? Butters doing? But we got the toolbox, and I didn't do anything crazy with this. This is just a Harbor Freight Husky toolbox. I took the wheels off of it. We did the insert grommets, bolted it to the floor. I was able to take this bottom drawer out and get to our bolts to secure that onto the floor. And just plain and simple, we've got a few things that we still need to load up on it, but sockets and air fittings, zip ties, tape, things that you think you might need along the old roadside. lockout stuff. We've got pumps and bags and wedges. We're going to get into some of the tire repairs. We've got our jump start equipment there. Battery cleaner. Always make sure you can clean a battery if it's not starting. Some brushes to brush everything off with. And then just in case, some jumper cables. And like I said, I don't have that quite loaded up all the way, but we do have some of the way in there. There's going to be a lot of things that we need. We've got our lockout rods into the thing there. I kind of come on back here to the back. Moving to the back. So we got the mount in here, and I just went to the hardware store and I got me a piece of aluminum, kind of bent some 90s in it and made a bracket for my fuel jug. And these fuel jugs, I like switching to this style here just because of the safety jugs. They're no fun. You're alongside the road, you're trying to get off the road in a hurry, and you've got a jug that's got a safety pour feature on it that takes you 15 minutes to put in 2 gallons of gas. So this way, we're alongside the road. This makes it fast and easy. There's no restriction. Fast and easy. Poke that in there. You get your customer fueled up. I think that's going to work out a lot better for us. And jack, we just grabbed a Pittsburgh jack, same place, Harbor Freight. We grabbed one. I put a simple hook in the floor, strap to kind of keep it in there. It's not going nowhere. It might rattle around a little bit, drive us nuts, but hey, it's back here. It's a service truck. I had a little piece of angle iron that I put there up against that wheel to keep it secure. Moving on back, we did put in a reel, a 50-foot hose reel. So that's going to be nice and convenient. We can just pull that thing out. 50 foot will get us to whatever vehicle we need to get aired up. But it's very important on this stuff, guys. I mean, I'll come along, a lot of folks that call us for a flat tire change, and you'll get there, and lo and behold, I want to say 60-70% of the time that spare tire is going to be flat. So you're at least going to have to check the air pressure in that tire when you go to put it on there, because folks just don't think of those things and putting that on there. I don't really have a whole lot on this side of the van. We have to leave a place here for old Bruno. He likes to come along on rides on the service van, and we got a little mat there, kind of double purpose. We can use that for knees when you're down. Put that on the ground, put your knees on, little knee saver pad. The tank we grabbed, it was an eBay purchase. It's a 3-gallon. It's got plenty of extra ports there that you can see that I've capped off. So future reference, I've got spots for, you never know, train horn. You never know. You might want to put a train horn in the old service van. But the airline from that, I just plumbed it in, like I said, 1/4 inch. Comes off of that top fitting there. That was just the best case for me. I ran it out of let me see here, ran it out of that tank, and I kind of come across the toolbox with a couple of fittings and drilled a hole in this plastic. We came back, and it was a good place for me to mount air in to the reel, and put a little on-off ball valve there just to shut the hose off. Just a little extra thing there. But that is that. Compressors, if you guys are thinking about wiring up onboard air, let me see if I can get this seat forward so you guys can see a little better. It gets a little complicated. I opted for, I don't know if you guys can see, I'll light this up maybe a little better, but I opted for the dual pump. You don't have to do this, but for me it airs up twice as fast, and it works out very well for me. And I put this same setup in my wrecker and was able to find room for this. I didn't put a 3-gallon tank in the wrecker. I ended up putting a 2-gallon, but I think this 3-gallon is going to work out good. So, but anyway, guys, dual compressor works out good. As far as the wiring, it's going to come with a relay style that wires these things up, and not that that's a bad thing, but it's another me being overkill in the stereo world that I've learned. So I end up buying this little solenoid here, and the solenoid works a lot better. I could run both pumps off of this solenoid here and not have to worry about anything. But a brief rundown, if you guys are thinking about this, it's not horrible. We've got power in, so you can see this bottom one right here. See if I can get you guys close. This is my power in that comes from the battery, and I ran all the way up this black one up here. That's the ground. So power and ground, it's a good idea to run that all the way from the battery source. Some people will mount this to the frame, and you know, that might work sometimes, but sometimes maybe not. So just run it. You're running one line, run 2 lines. That gets you safe. But the bottom pole is the power source. Ground is the little pole up here on the top. The other top pole is the power source for your compressors. So that runs the 12 volt on the compressors. The ground, obviously, those 2 grounds coming from the compressor pumps will go to that ground source as well. And then we come to the switch. So this one here on the power source top pole comes back to our 12 volt switch. From the other end of that switch, we'll run up here to your pressure switch actually. So the pressure switch will see that 200 PSI and it'll automatically shut that thing off. But I did put a line in so I can physically turn it off and on too, because I don't want it cycling, you know, maybe it springs a leak or something like that and it would run constantly. So we didn't want that to happen, but I just put a simple switch here beside it, and it's going to be loud, guys, and I'm sorry. A simple on-off switch controls my pumps, airs up my tanks, and that gets us onboard air. So if you guys are thinking about that setup, hey, it works very well. I've duplicated it, like I said. I've got it in the wrecker as well, so got that on there twice. But guys, that's about a wrap on the old service van here. If you guys are thinking about one, we went for this one, and Nissan makes one. I don't really care for CVT transmissions, so CVT transmission wasn't a thing for me, so we opted for the Ford model here. I know Chevy makes one, Dodge makes a really big one. I'm not sure if Dodge makes a small one or not, but this, I just like the looks of this one. And we've got some more space here for other things, and we'll see what's to come. If you guys can think of anything else or better places to mount this stuff, hey, drop us a comment down below. We'd be glad to hear from you guys on those things. This is just me scrounging around in the garage, and this is the best I could come up with. Still looking for a place to really kind of put those lockout rods. Those are just kind of jangling around in there. But yeah, like I said, if you guys can think of some better places to mount things, leave us a comment. We love hearing from you guys. But that's kind of a wrap on the old service van. We appreciate you guys watching. Stick around. We're going to put this thing to use.